Hi y'all. Today we're going to be taking care of this sycamore here. It's grown up. I let it grow up on the bank and just haven't gotten to it. So it's shading out some of my bush cherries up here. So what I want to go ahead and do is fell it behind me. Ideally, that's what I'm hoping to do. It's leaning kind of the direct opposite direction I want it to go, so even though I want it to go directly opposite to me, I may try to end up and get it to go a little bit off kilter so that I don't hinge it and have it go backwards. But what I'm going to go ahead and be reviewing today is a RINALDI broad bit axe. Okay, so the RINALDI axes are hand forged in Italy. They're a little bit newer axe to us, and my first impression of them when they came in was not completely positive. The forging is fairly decent. There are a few, sharp edges, and we'll take a closer look at that in a few minutes. But they had many of them had a large burr. I mean, even up to maybe a quarter of an inch or a half inch. Now, once that burr is off, it's super sharp. So I'm kind of past that. Whatever process that they use to sharpen that, I'm not worried about it. It actually kind of appeals to me now. The other kind of sore spot was the handles, and you can see, well, we'll take a closer look at that in a minute, but they're a little bit, kind of like a 1x4 that has got the edges rounded off, which, it's not 1x4, but I'm just kind of envisioning here. I have also kind of grown past that just slightly because it comes with a few benefits. It's a straight handle, and so that means you can easily get lumber, dimensional lumber, and shape it yourself, and quickly put a new handle on this. You can shape it to whatever you want. It doesn't take the wedge and a pin in the top, which makes it I kind of like to liken it to a giant tomahawk. So you could just kind of pound the head off and throw a new handle on there very easily. That's pretty appealing. Swap out a few handles, try what you like. So really, once again, my original kind of impression of it has slightly modified over time. I'm kind of excited to go ahead and do a review on this axe. It's also rather impressive. I'm 6'6". This is a pretty good size axe. Kind of like the profile of it, kind of gives you a little bit of a macho feel. So all things considered on the look of it, I like it. We'll see how it performs and get a closer look to it in a minute. Alright, so we've got just about a length here. Overall length of the handle is 39 inches, and the blade may skew up just a little bit to be just over that, but it's fairly close. We go ahead and take, it's got a pretty wide blade on it. I'll go ahead and get that underneath. And we're looking at just over 7.5 inches. Edge to pole is just about 8.5 inches, and back of the width of the pole is about 1.5 inches. So a decently sized axe. Alright, so here's what I was talking about, a closer look on the idea that it doesn't have the wedge or the pin. And as I'll say, likened to a giant tomahawk, because it's a tapered handle. It drives in from the top, and you've got that wedge. It itself is a wedge, and that allows, as you're striking it, if anything, continues to get tighter, or thus the idea of it behind the idea. So kind of like that. That's a little bit different on one of these large axis, RINALDI axis. And you can see forging is pretty straightforward. There is a little bit of grinding and sharp spots up here. That I like everything to be smooth, so it might lose a couple of points just on that. But as you can see down here, forging is pretty straightforward, and they do a decent job of it. So we'll see how she performs. All right, so back to our tree. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit of a wedge cut right here in the direction I want to go, and then I'll give it the back cut, and we'll go from there. Hopefully it'll go the direction I want. It's not that big of a tree, So as long as I'm careful, this should go fine, and I'll just may have to give it a little bit of incentive to go the direction I want. We'll see as we get further along. I've got my initial cut made from the direction I want the tree to go. I'm going to go ahead and make a back cut just above it on the opposite side. Go ahead and take this limb off here and then get started on it. Alrighty, so I gave it my best. I was pretty sure from the start that it was going to go the wrong direction I wanted. I did try putting this strap on it to keep it the other direction. Didn't end up working, but I knew there was a good chance of that. So if I had really not wanted to go that way, I'd have gotten the tractor over here and pulled it that direction. So my filling could use a little work. This RINALDI broad bit axe is a pretty hefty and decent axe. The design on it, for a filling axe, a little bit different, a little bit more in the range of a, like what I would think of as a Rhineland or a German design rather than an American filling. Then again, it's made in Italy. Maybe that's an Italy design, but I'm pretty happy with the performance of it, and I really can't complain about anything about it. The sycamore was very hard and stringy. Probably one of the more hard stringy woods that I have chopped, even more so than the hickory and the oak that I'm more familiar with felling. Then again, I'm not an expert at felling. I only do so when I need to have a tree removed from an area, so or I'm after the lumber. Final impressions are, I highly recommend it. It's a decent deal for how much axe you get, money versus hand forging. And make sure, follow us, subscribe, check us out, and thanks for watching. So, I kind of felt like the sycamore that's a pretty good challenge. Hardwood, as I've already mentioned. I like to give a couple of different varieties of wood for you to see. So I've got a sweet gum that's down here. Wish I had felled it with the camera rolling a couple of days ago. I did not. So We won't see the pelling, but you'll get an idea for how it performs in sweet cow.